As we know, most of the architectural works today are based on many architectural achievements in the past. So today we are going to do a quick research on one of the world's most iconic international style skyscrapers designed by Mies van der Rohe, which is still attracting thousands and millions of tourist architects till today. So what is the international style? Let's find out.
International style is an architectural style that developed in Europe and the United States in 1920s and 30s and became the dominant tendency in Western architecture during the middle decades of the 20th century. The most common characteristic of international style buildings are rectilinear forms like sofa surfaces that have been completely stripped of applied ornamentation and decoration. Open interior spaces and a visually weightless quality endangered by the use of cantilever construction. Though this modern style movement began in 1930s, it wasn't until the 1940s that it began to become more widely accepted by the typical American homeowner. The reason austere and disciplined architecture was thus formed according to the principle and modern buildings should reflect a clear harmony between appearance, function, and technology. The international style grew out of the work of a small group of brilliant and original architects in 1920 who went on to achieve great influence in the field. One of these major figures is Mies van der Rohe in Germany.
Mies van der Rohe is one of the most influential architects of the 20th century, known for his role in the development of the most enduring architectural style of the era. Born in Aachen, Germany, Mies' career began in the influential studio of Peter Behrens, where Mies worked alongside two other titans of the modernism, Walter Gropius and Le Corbusier. For almost a century, my minimalist style has grown very popular. His famous aphorism "less is more" is still widely used, even by those who are unaware of its origin.
Mies began to develop this style through the 1920s, combining the functionalist industrial concern of his modernist contemporaries and an aesthetic drive toward minimal intersecting planes. Rejecting the traditional system of enclosed of rooms and relying heavily on glass to dissolve the boundaries between the building's interior and exterior. In 1958, the completion of Seagram Building in the heart of New York, which cemented his fame within the architectural avant-garde, remains one of his most well-known and most notable examples of the functionalist aesthetic works.
What makes Seagram Building famous? The 38-story Seagram Building epitomizes elegance and the principle of modernism. It was Mies' first attempt at tone of building construction. Like others, Mies' solution set the standard for the modern skyscraper. The building became a monumental continuity of bronze and dark glass, climbing up 515 feet to the top of the tower, juxtaposing the light granite surface of the plaza below. Mies' response to the city with the Seagram Building was the grand gestures of setting back the building 100 feet to the street edges. We created a highly active open plaza which addressed pedestrians with its two large functions surrounded by generous outer seating. By making this move, Mies distanced himself from New York urban morphologies, long-life development, and the conventional economics of skyscraper construction.
Architectural details of the building. The plaza also created a procession to the entry of the building, providing the threshold that linked the city with the skyscraper. This threshold continues into the building as a horizontal plane in the plaza that cuts into the lobby. The lobby also has a wide ceiling that stretches out over the entry doors, further eroding the defined line between interior and the exterior. The office spaces above the lobby, furnished by Philip Johnson, have flexible floor plans lit with luminous ceiling panels. These floors also get maximum natural lighting with the exterior being a glass panes of grey topaz that provide floor-to-ceiling windows for the office spaces. One interesting feature of the Seagram building is the window blinds. As was common with international style architects, Mies wanted the building to have a uniform appearance. One aspect of a facade which Mies disliked was the disordered irregularity of window blinds are drawn. Inevitably, people using different windows will draw blinds to different heights, making the building appear disorganized. To reduce this disproportionate appearance, Mies specified window blinds which only operate in three positions: fully open, halfway open closed, or fully closed.
The detailing of the exterior surface were carefully determined by the desired exterior expressions Mies wanted to achieve. The neutral brown skin that is seen in the faces is not structural, but it used to express the idea of the structural frame that is underneath. Additional vertical elements were also welded into the window panel, not only to stiffen the skin for installation and overlapping, but to aesthetically further enhance the vertical articulation of the building. On completion, the construction costs of Seagram make it the world's most expensive skyscraper at the time, due to the use of expensive, high-quality materials and lavish interior decorations including bronze, travertines, and marble. The interior was designed to ensure cohesion with the internal features, revested in the glass and bronze furnishings and decorative skill.
The Seagram building, with its use of modern material and setback from a city grid, became a prototype for the future office building designed by Mies, as well as a model for many buildings erected in its surroundings. This building, 50 years after its completion, is still admired by many visitors every day and set as a symbol of international style skyscraper amid the New York skyline. It's a statement to just how influential the Seagram building has been that its minimalism now seems commonplace, but at the time it was built, the Seagram was an early and radical statement that the new modern era in American architecture has arrived.